Alright, we're here with Kambal. Just a black-white control deck. I'm running the 9 life Solemnity package alongside of a lot of hate cards like Rest in Peace for graveyard strategies. This thing for, people trying to cheat things out of their library, which was good against us the one time it was played in this deck. It didn't stop us from just casting Omniscience, but running the card draw spells. Eye of Vecna. This card came to my attention recently. I own it, so I guess we'll give it a shot. I'm not super big on it. It's like a wonky Phyrexian arena. But we'll see. It's 2 mana. It comes in early. Obviously, a bunch of discard spells, including Check for Traps, and a card I don't tend to play much is Pelakka Predation. It's just another discard spell. It's like the reverse Inquisition, and I'm not big on Inquisition, so we have ways to draw cards and obviously sweep the board over and over. A bunch of tutors, Liliana and Ujin as our top end. I had the Immortal Sun in here, but I wasn't liking it too much. Oh, hey, Bread. I made it. Yeah, you made it. Just in time. So a bunch of sweepers, a ton of spot removal spells. Edgar, which I don't see played a lot as a controlling style card, but I feel like this is a very strong card that continuously harasses your opponent. If it doesn't get counterspelled, right? Same with Dawn of Hope, kind of similar. They play nicely with each other too, because you draw every time you gain life. I was running the Veto Exquisite Blood combo, where every time, when you gain life, they lose life. When they lose life, you gain life. So those two cards, Exquisite Blood and Veto, combo, and you just steal all their life. But I didn't have a ton of ways to actually gain an instance of life, so I took it out. You could certainly build it to be more in that, because black-white is pretty good at doing that, even your commander, right? So, yeah, this is the deck. It is sort of based off of the deck that we played against yesterday. I've seen a lot of lists online of Kambal that don't play like this at all. They play far more into creatures and try to kill you that way. But we're definitely trying to not do that. And like the Ajani deck was struggled with drawing cards, this doesn't seem to have that issue, which is really nice. You're not running ramp spells, so you're not like getting into the more expensive cards quickly, but you don't really have to if your opponent isn't trying to, it can't just beat you to death with nonsense. I also had to control myself and not run every single board wipe possible. Because it started off with like all of them, and it felt like it was too much in games where you don't need more than like 2, right? And in games where you need more than 2, you can just tutor for them, and that might just be enough, and your opponent scoops to that. So we'll see how this goes. I'm feeling confident about it. Also, like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. I stream on Twitch. I stream on Twitch 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 4 days a week. Or 18 o'clock for you military folk. Make some noise. Oh boy. You guys are hyping it up. I'm scared. I can't let you down now. Alright, so this hand is good. We have a lot of turn 2 plays, actually 2 discard spells. Against Azusa seems nice because we don't care how many lands they have if they don't have anything to do with them. Azusa, in my opinion, is a little bit of the weaker mono green cards. Commanders, just cheating out lands and then have nothing to do with them seems suspect. Alright, so we're going to play this on white. Oh, we're also running a reasonable amount of lands, because you know how I like to be extremely greedy. Alright, interesting. That is not a green source. We'll lead with him. Yeah, we'll lead with this. Doesn't really matter. This one's slightly harder to cast, technically. Oh! Okay, well, that's interesting. I can kind of just let them have Ulamog for a while. I might just take this. Maybe we don't take this and we just take Ulamog so we don't have to worry about it, especially if the game goes a long time. Because this might just get something we can kill the sweeper, which would otherwise not be super strong if they're not playing to the board, right? Not sure what they're pausing on here. I think you always just cast... Yep, there you go. A lot of colorless lands in their hand currently. Kind of funny. They also played a land that we didn't know about. That's probably a bit of a mistake. Just wasn't realizing, probably. Alright, we can scry first. I think more information is better. So, do we need another land? Why not? I feel like we have ample time in this game. We're going to take Ulamog. They're actually halfway to casting Ulamog. And if they draw a land, they're quite close. And this incentivizes them to just get something for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like a 5-minute card. And then a sweeper is good against it. And then their opponent's out of cards. They could get something seriously threatening. But we'll find out. It will be able to hit us. Toski would be bad. That's not bad, but of course they find a land off top, because why wouldn't they? Let's see. Do we search for glory? Yeah, we'll search for glory. We'll search for glory. This seems decent, but not super important. This also just kills 3 creatures, right? This isn't bad. Yeah, it's pretty difficult for them to combat this. I feel good about it. Alright, so don't draw lands off the top. No lands off the top. You're banned. You're banned if you do that. Reported to wizard. Okay. That's annoying. We have Solemnity, but it's not going to come down in time before they're able to use it, right? So they could fire up Crawling Barrens 1, 2, 3, 4, technically and put it on 3. No, 2. Okay, because I was going to say if they had Coven, if they put enough counters on this, they could actually cast whatever's on top. Because it's not a land, apparently. Do I sweep this board? I don't know. I think I do, actually, because we don't want them to incur lands off the top. I'd rather their top decks be bad. This does exile the Crawling Barrens. That is true. If they just recast Azusa, they probably never will, actually, because Oracle and Augur are gone, and there's no way to play off the top anymore, and obviously they're not amassing cards to play lands out of hand, so their commander's kind of done. Although, as we've seen here, their commander really didn't even do much, given our 2 discard spells, right? Okay, that was on top. That's kind of ironic. That was the card they were looking at. Alright, so they recast it. I mean, you got nothing else to do. Actually, they do. I think it makes more sense to fire up the Crawling Barrens, honestly. Honestly. We're going to run this out, and we're going to tutor for... We can tutor for a piece of the 9 lives combo, but... They are mono green. They could be running Ujin. We saw Ulamog, and they're blowing up Solemnity. Obviously, sets us back a bit. Phyrexian Arena seems pretty solid. I can see an argument for having just simply cast this right now instead of the Profane Procession. We'll take Arena. I don't want to fall behind if our opponent does some crazy stuff. You have to go back to work. Alright, I'll stay strong. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, though. They have 5, 6... They have 10 mana. So, obviously, it's a good thing we took Ujin. Or, Ulamog, rather. There's like a... There's a hair on my arm. I wonder where that hair came from. Can only guess. Alright, this is a strange pause to me. If it's a creature, I mean, it just dies to the I keep calling it Procession. Okay, so they get 7 lands. I don't know why they didn't choose to get 8 lands. I don't know. This is obviously one of the few cards in their deck that makes Azusa pretty good. But, again, you're only just playing lands, so I don't know. Although the Arch is kind of annoying. We don't have an answer to this. We could tutor for an answer to this. But, I don't know, maybe we have time to just ignore it. I don't think I'm going to kill their commander, so... We can tutor for a 6-mana Planeswalker. We have gotten a lot of tutors off, which means we have no excuse to not draw our strongest cards in our deck currently, right? So I guess I'll get... This kills anything they play. This kills a lot of the things they could play. I'll just take this. And I'll run out Phyrexian Arena. So now the Crawling Barons can get quite large. Is that a Nexus? They have a Blink Moth Nexus. Okay. Sure, I guess you are all in on the land strategy, right? Okay, sure. Just thinning their deck. Think they should have cracked these first. Absolutely should have cracked those first. I wonder how many lands are left. Surprisingly, they haven't seen many more cards than us. And those cards are lands. Liliana Plus does defend myself from pretty much anything except something with haste. We will use the zombie to block their Crawling Barons. I doubt we'll die to this Phyrexian Arena, but that would be funny. Yeah, we'll just run this out. I'm not going to minus it. It doesn't really get me anywhere. I wonder what our opponent's doing. Probably just another land in hand that they drew. Probably. I mean, quite likely, right? They didn't cast it. Man, the double discard spell was really devastating. That is a very good card. The minus on Liliana does answer the land they're going to fire up. Also, if they don't have anything to do with all this mana, it doesn't really matter. Alright, well, they definitely wish they did that after. That's for sure. Zendikar Royal not giving them many targets here. They blow up our castle. We get a... hand is all white. I guess we'll get a white card. Yeah, we'll just get a white land. We get a 2-2. They kind of made it so Liliana doesn't ultimate, though. I guess. Oh, never mind. They're letting me draw a card here. I think that's a bit questionable. The mana does do something, right? They can use that mana to do some pretty gnarly stuff. Hey, that's pretty good, though. I would rather not lose Liliana, though, but it looks like we might. So I have to do this. I could just plus Liliana and just not care about anything our opponent's doing. Now, milling this over is just one less card, except I don't have to invest mana on it, so I'm going to do that. Play a land. So do we plus or do we minus? We could plus and then cast Kambal. I kind of like doing that. Have not been able to cast or use Profane Procession yet. Procession. Profane Procession. Ooh. Oh boy. Can see an argument for Field of Ruin right now as well, just to deal with this Crawling Barons. That might be an issue, but this is what we chose to do. They've only... I don't know. Weird game so far. They can Ghost Quarter our Field of Ruin, so I guess we're glad we didn't do that. They don't Ghost Quarter themselves. Sure. They can fire up Blink Moth Nexus. Sure. That's fine. We have a good turn next turn, although I guess Kambal will end up dying. But we only really need one more turn to not let to ultimate Liliana, right? So, although they do have a ways to, yeah, they have ways to circumvent this actually. Will they let me draw with this 2/2? I feel like they shouldn't, but I feel like they're going to. No, they don't. Okay, smart. At least that's what I would do. Probably, yeah. We get to draw cards regardless of our creatures dying because of a sweeper. So we sweep the board and we probably blow up the thing generating additional cards, that being the Arc with our Field of Ruin. And I gotta make sure I Field of Ruin first, so the 2/2 they get from the Royal does also die. Opponent it seems like our opponent is continuously forgetting that they have priority every time they finish their turn. Because there's really nothing else to think about right now. Do I... Yeah, no, I plus after. I want the zombie in play, because it will probably die before Liliana dies, so I'll draw a card eventually off of it. And I don't think I need the card right now. Opponent yet again forgetting that they have priority. Certainly alt-tabbing or something. I'd say your go, but usually when you're tabbed away, you don't read people when they say your go. You don't actually get to see that. Alright, so we lead... Whoa, we lead with this, right? That was the point. So we blow up the thing generating card advantage, keeping up with our Phyrexian Arena. It would be kind of weird to never pay attention to the game this much, because you've noticed at this point everything I'm doing is in fact passing back to you, so I don't know what's going on. And to the extent of my opponent's knowledge, they're not in a bad spot either, so... Like, they have a 21/21 reach giant creature in play. I think they're just AFK, coming back and forth, doing something else. I don't know what it is. There goes a sweeper on top. Yep, they get a 2/2. We sweep the board. Preferably before our opponent leaves again. Or not. Oh, nope, they're back. Yep. Draw some cards. This has nothing to do with anything currently. We can leave up Eliminate, I guess. So we plus here and we pass. I'm not playing Dawn of Hope for no reason, and I'm fine with not cracking Mind Stone. Okay, our opponent finally does this. I think this thing should be slightly larger, and it's not. I should have killed it right there. That was a mistake. Does this have haste? It does, but it does not have trample. Oh, no, but it fights when it comes in. Alright. That was really good. That was good. We have no answer to that, and we're in a bit of a bind now. It was inevitable they eventually start drawing good cards, though. Right? Because they haven't yet. Dawn of Hope does shut this off, but the problem is we lost our Liliana. So, chumping this over and over is not super great. I mean, it keeps us from not, you know, losing, but certainly want another sweeper here. I can't... Does it have Ward 10 forever? It does. Okay, so we did hit a sweeper. Got kind of lucky. I'm just going to trade. Don't know what our opponent was thinking about there. Kind of weird. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to leave this up, so we just play a tap land and pass. Can't really... We can never realistically discard anything they do from here on out. Can I respond to this? Oh, they didn't make it a creature this time, so I cannot. Okay, so it's a 10... I mean, it technically kills us. Right? They don't do anything after that, so we'll just do this. I was waiting for them to dump more mana to make it lethal, but I don't want to go to 4. Well, this could hit things. It apparently does not. We draw. I think we're fine with just doing this. When this gets 3, we can... Right, it's 1 more, yeah. I don't care about their commander, really. So we can play a land, can run out Dawn of Hope, leave up 3 mana to do what? Soul Shatter something? No, I think I'm going to leave all my mana up and discard check for traps. And have Eliminate Soul Shatter up. Okay, we're going to certainly kill that. And I think I'm just going to Soul Shatter now. So I don't take any damage. We could wait till the end step, though. Yeah, I think taking 1 is fine. It just... Yeah, we'll just take 1. I don't want to get into an issue where I'm dead to... Oh, no, whoops. It doesn't matter. I mean, taxing it, they're going to recast it next turn. I forgot. I should have done the end step, because now they can obviously just recast it. Do we kill it again? Ooh, I don't think we do. I don't think so. Okay. Kind of annoying. We would like this to have not been in play when we cast Ujin, but it is. I guess we can just sweep the board with this, right? Because this doesn't have many targets in their deck. Yeah, that's fine. I might have even just killed the token with this, so... We actually just got them to tax their commander 1 additional time this way. Seems fine. So we plus. This is kind of reckless if we do end up getting clapped by something crazy. Oh yeah, I'm running this because I found out it gets picked up every time you discover... You play the discovered card, it comes back. Excuse me, so... I kind of like this more than I did before. Just this recurring value thing, even though the cards you're getting are not, like, super good. Man, they're really still drawing lands in after having so many lands, like, removed, right? It's kind of crazy. Do I blow this up ever? Do I ever blow this up, or do I just stay at parity with it? Technically, it can be an issue, so I'm just going to blow it up. It can wind up being a problem. This isn't a game where I feel like I need to cast Rest in Peace, but I think I'm going to anyways, because we don't really use our graveyard, and our opponent might do something crazy, picking up their own graveyard. Because they're running a land that exiles a graveyard, right? I could tax their expensive cards, doesn't feel like that's getting me anywhere. I'll just play this, start undoing the Phyrexian Arena before it kills us out of nowhere. Play a land, and leave up some cards. Yeah, we'll leave up some cards and some token generation. I'm not going to swing. And do we play Kambal? No. I don't think a 2/3 is doing much. Sure. Well, good thing we played Rest in Peace. Although I don't think there's any... Were there? Oh yeah, there were some actually. Blinkmoth Nexus in particular. So that was a very good turn to do that, let me tell you. Yeah, alright, so our opponent realizes we're drawing way more cards than them. And they have no synergies with their land drops, because their green Field of Ruin, Field of the Dead is gone, and this is gone, and Oracle and Augur are gone, so they can't play off the top. Their toolbox card is gone. Their best card is gone. Yeah. Weird. They stayed in it for a long time. I don't think our opponent realized we had Profane Procession on the Crawling Barons, otherwise firing it up right there doesn't seem like a super good idea, right? You can always just wait until I'm done through with it, right? Just having exiled 3 different cards. But that does mean I'm drawing an immeasurable amount of cards in the meantime, and they're not. Kind of a weird hand. Vadrik needs to die, and relying on Slayer's Bounty to do that seems questionable. Alright. This isn't great, but I'm going to keep it. This hand is fine. Ooh, should have played this turn 1. I didn't notice it. Didn't notice it. It's my bad. Not the end of the world, though. They play something here? Do they play? Oh, right, yeah. I forgot those exist. Of course they do. Silly me. Okay, we'll name black. So we need to kill Vadrik immediately, or we lose. So hopefully they don't have a 1-minute counterspell. Or, I guess it could be a 2-minute counterspell, right? A 1 and a colorless. I can play around some sort of daze. I don't know. If this doesn't work, I scoop. Okay. Do we scoop? Do we keep playing? I don't know. We can try again, but after this point, the game's kind of over. Everything I do is just countered. Can wait for a discard spell out of nowhere, although I find that also to be unlikely. They are down to 1 mana. 1 colored mana, that is. So I can maybe try to do this. Okie dokie. We can try again. Looks like nothing, which is not good. Leaving up 2 counterspells now. Extra turn, fine. Just cycling it's not... Well, I guess it deals 5 damage to us too, so... Okay. 2 or less. That is not enough. So we cast this on non-dragons. Okay, it worked. We're back in it. I don't think there's much decision-making in this game. In this matchup, honestly. It's kind of unfortunate. We have mana for another sweeper. Which we're just going to fire off immediately. Opponent does not go for their commander. Very interesting. Our commander is strong against them. And I guess getting it out now is better than not doing that. Does this do anything? It doesn't really do anything in their deck, against their deck, does it? No. I'll just find another answer to their commander, if they let this resolve. They do. Interesting. Okay, so all of these are solid. Sweepers, Lilianas, exile effects, removal. Ooh, I don't know. We could... No, I don't think the 9-life Solemnity thing is going to get where we need to be. Rest in Peace also seems decent. We have a lot of decent hits here, which means I'm probably going to pick the wrong one. I think I'm going to go with like Ujin or Liliana. We'll go with Ujin just because it's doing what I need it to do, while at the same time potentially gaining me value after the fact. Opponent might have just let this resolve because they can burn us out from here. It's also a reasonable thing to do. They certainly have something to cast, otherwise they would not forego casting their commander. Alright, that's not what I expected. It's fine. They just passed the turn. Okay, yeah, we'll just do this then. And I'll run this out. Because why not? Not doing much, but it could potentially do something against them. They haven't drawn lands, so they obviously have spells to cast. Looks like another removal spell. Okay. We're just gaining life, trading for burn spells, I guess. We can do it again. Alright, so that was their draw for the turn. So now they decide to cast this. Maybe they wanted to just leave up a mana when they go to do this? That's reasonable. We're going to try this as an answer, because I have more mana up after the fact. Although I'm not doing much with it. I don't know, it plays around soft counters a little bit better. Alright, so they're potentially back off their commander. Nope. They got it hexproof. Okay. This isn't terrible, though, because, again, I only have 1 card left, even though it isn't a land. We can't despark anything. It's just holding itself because I can despark my own cast out, which we're not going to do. It looks like they're respecting some sort of tapped nonsense we might be able to do, but we don't have that. Okay, we're going to just snap this off. We're back to just attempting to deal with their commander, which is really... Wow. Alright, let's tax Vadrik. Even farther. Okay. Yep. And pass. They had nothing. That was their card for the turn. Okay. Ooh. This is probably better to have resolved than Ujin, maybe? So let's try this. Just having one of these resolved is a good thing to have happen. This denies their commander 3 more times. Okay. Good, good, good. D-Spark probably doesn't have a lot of targets. I'm interested that they let that resolve. Maybe they don't have another counterspell. I really wish I could see their hand with a discard spell. Really do. Is that a... Okay, so... Okay. Alright, so we'll go Kambal into Bojuka Bog. Okay, so they had a counterspell, and they looked for another one, probably, because it's 6 mana. Do we hold on to... No, we don't hold on to Bojuka Bog. That's probably reckless. Just play our lands. I'm glad that they are fighting against this with counterspells. Okay, so there's a chance that's what the Seek was. Which is good for us, certainly. I'd be kind of surprised if they tapped out. Oh, that's a reasonable thing to tap out for, though. Find a 2-mana counterspell, probably. Counterspell? They haven't played counterspell yet. Oh, no, they don't. Alright, Thoughtseize means they get to copy it. So we cast this first. Resolves. Then we Thoughtseize them. Do we Thoughtseize first, or do we plus first? No, we plus first. Just to play around a burn spell, right? Because we don't want to pass priority having not at least done this. They certainly copy this, right? You certainly copy this. Take my D-Spark. Which fortunately is useless. No, they don't. Okay. They do not. Fight with fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, boy, that's close, but it's not good enough. We have to take it. It does force me to, in fact, take the card, because making them draw that many cards is a bit of an issue. This is 1 off from lethal. I guess with the Electrolyze it is lethal, so I need Kambal in play for at least a second. 5, 6, 7, 8. How much is this to do? 6, 7, 8, 9? They could have just slammed us for enough to do the deed there, and they didn't. We plus again. Land. Yikes. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They do not have an answer to Kambal, which is huge in hand, right? So they have to cast Electrolyze first. So I take the damage and I don't steal 2 life. But then we gain life with Kambal's ability and go back up above Fight with Fire actually killing us. Swing. So we're at 9. This deals 10, but we gain 2. It might still be worth it to do that, though. This Ujin has flipped 2 lands. It's pretty nice. Okay. So they're not all in on killing us. Kind of reasonable there, right? Still puts us pretty low. Yikes. Alright. We'll loot with this. Or do we plus first? It doesn't really matter, does it? No, it doesn't. Because you never know. It's just another land. That's funny. Take action. Alright, that's actually good. And I think I want to play 9... Oh, I can't play 9 lives immediately. Ooh. 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 Is there anything that we can play that's good right now? Rest in Peace, maybe? Dawn of Hope would be good later, but I don't know if that matters. Maybe we should get this, because if we... It just gives us... Yeah, we'll just get this, because it's the fastest way to avoiding imminent death. Oh, no, it isn't, though. 9 lives is. 9 lives would have just been better. It doesn't matter if we're dead immediately, but 9 lives would have certainly saved us from a giant X spell outside of, like, Banefire. Okay. That's pretty nice. We'll plus again. Alright, we swing. Guess I run out Edgar. There's not much of a reason not to. It just, yeah, I mean, at this point we're pretty close to lethal, so we might as well just press the attack. Leave up the procession, but we're not going to fire that off. They have to pretty much kill us right now, which is not impossible. They have it? No, they don't. Oh my god. Oh, oh man. Alright, so what could they have done differently to kill us? Man, Kambal stealing life ended up saving us. I didn't think that would ever happen, especially against a non-like mono-red aggro deck. So the Time Warp dealt 5, basically. Lightning Bolt killed Kambal. Electrolyze they had to do in response to Kambal, which they probably should have cast this earlier, in my opinion, just to have cycled it, because given the context of the board, they had to do that before Kambal resolved anyways. So you probably should just draw a card. Playing around a discard spell doing that, I guess, but you need to do something. Crazy. We also killed their commander 3 or 4 times. I was about to scoop too after the first answer. It just felt such a bad matchup, but I guess maybe it isn't, because we have so many removal spells. We can just deal with Vadrik. Well, if we successfully deal with Vadrik, we can proceed from there. Oh man, 2-0. Oh my god. Those are some crazy games. Crazy games, lasting a long time, but unlike the Ajani version of this sort of one-for-one controlling thing, we actually, you know, keep up with cards, and black is certainly a better spot for that than green. Halana. Duress doesn't feel good. D-Spark kind of does. So does Curse. Okay. We are, in fact, not running Esper Sentinel. Too many sweepers in our deck, and too few decks seem to be good against it, right? Maybe this wasn't worth it. Maybe I did not want to do this, actually. Maybe that was a mistake. Do I want to? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Duressing on one means I can name something with the curse that isn't their commander, but I don't think I'm going to do that anyways. Is there any reason to not play this tap right now? No. Yeah, we're just going to name their commander to get it out of the way for a while. Right, what else are we doing? What does this do? End step, 3 more creatures, different, counter, blah. Ooze, battlefield, creature, control, attacks. Put a ooh. I'm going to name the ooze. We're going to name, Owenreef ooze. We're going to name the ooze. This is kind of far away, and if they play that in having it to... It just, I mean, just looking for a sweeper. That's all we're really doing. Let's be real. Let's not overthink this. I wonder if they tap the ooze to make this thing bigger. I kind of doubt that. Yeah, I don't think that would ever be a good idea, so... Opponent agrees. I would like to get this in play right now. I would also like to leave up Murderous Rider. Is that necessary? It might be necessary. Until we find a sweeper, we don't necessarily need more mana anyways. This does help us find one, slowly. This does force me into playing Murderous Rider right now, because I have to commit to doing that. When do they get the counter? Beginning of your end step. Okay, so if they play something else, I can deal with it. It's pretty obvious I have an answer to something they do. Opponent sees that. We're going to kill this, then. That's fine. We're under 0 pressure, and when they play this with nothing else, it is totally reasonable and fine, and we're not scared. I almost want to forego casting Celestis so I can start drawing with Maze Mind's Tome. Alternatively, can we get him black? Yeah. We can just leave up D-Spark for their commander. So naming Ooze wound up being somewhat useful so far. Beginning of combat. Okay, so we... That's other. Okay. Do we draw? I think we draw because hitting lands is important. And we can always just cast this next turn. This isn't super scary. It is a threat, but it's not like... Alright, well, we didn't hit a land, so I guess I'm playing this in passing. We can still despark this. I'm feeling good about our spot. Famous last words. They've never tapped the Gilded Goose, which is wicked funny. Another creature you control where X is... Okay, so we kind of hope they target their thing in the middle there. They probably won't, because it's the only thing without hexproof, right? Yeah. Now, do they swing with their commander and remove hexproof? They do not. Okay, so... Boop. This has haste, right? No, it doesn't. Okay, they could not do it if they tried. We're going to look for something. I don't think amassing card advantage is super good in a spot like this. Oh, shoot, I didn't get the stop. I took it off. Whoops. Alright, so we can play Dawn of Hope, leave up 3 mana. No, 4 mana. 1, 2... We have 6 mana, so double 3 seems better. Kambal is alright. But this is sort of similar. It's just a life-gaining effect. So that seems fine. And then we'll Soul Shatter their commander when they try to do anything at all. Okay. Resolve. We'll draw a card because this is no longer useful. And then we will Soul Shatter. I could have waited till they put a counter on it, actually. That was a mistake. I should have waited till this resolved, because now this is a 3/5. Bit of a mistake there. Not a colossal one, but kind of a mistake. Oh, right, it can just go in itself, which probably is what they always do anyways. Never mind. Solemnity is decent against this card specifically. Kind of, not like super crazy. I guess I'll draw a card here. Solemnity is good against their commander because of the counters and stuff, but again, not super strong, right? But it's annoying to them. You have a 1 minute card here? What? You have a... I don't know what's going on. Lightning Bolt? Oh, okay. Sure. Put this to the bottom. Oh, it didn't let me put that to the bottom. Why did I not get to put this to the bottom? Where's my Murderous Rider? Is it on the bottom? Am I dumb? I am. Okay. The trigger happened so fast, what is this? Well, I mean, yep. If you're going to end on 6 mana, that's certainly what you want to have happen. What does this do? Land enters the battlefield. I mean, alright. This is very bad, but we can kind of do things. I'm going to cast Kambal because I'm not doing anything else. And we can chump block forever with Dawn of Hope. Counters on this don't do anything, so their commander is dead as long as Solemnity's sitting around. Okay. It actually doesn't do anything at all either, because I can just block it with Kambal over and over. Alright, so it looks like it's Dawn of Hope. Ooh! Kind of wish I drew that last turn, huh? Okay. Take action and pass, and now it's just Dawn of Hope versus the world, which is not a terrible spot to be in. Okay, no giant thing. Ayy, alright, this game just turned around. I'm gonna forego casting Kambal because I might wind up needing to cast a sweeper at some point. We're just gonna amass card advantage here, foretell, and leave up another token. Yep. Also, this gives us something to discard to looting with the Celestius, which wound up being quite nice. Yes, we draw. It's better than making a token, I think. This gains life, too? Really? Gain 1 life? Draw... Jeez, this card is ridiculous, dude. Okay, we don't care about this. Should have Solemnity before drawing to... Oh, yeah. No, you can't do that. No. Tome does not activate in any way when you have Solemnity in play. You can't fire it up in any means. Okay, so we just pass. Yeah, our opponent's letting it sink in there that we can just not do anything and leave up spot removal spells. We have Tome of the Infinite Mind. You cannot activate it when Solemnity is in play. Where is my Tome? Yeah, you just can't activate it. Same with Blast Zone. You cannot activate Blast Zone with Solemnity in play. Sometimes you play against an energy deck that's running like Ujins and stuff, and they can't fire it up with Aetherworks Marvel because you happen to be playing Solemnity, which is really funny. All right, we're 3-0. We're 3-0. Yeah, I described it to somebody with like everything to the left of the semicolon, like which is the cost of activating, can't be responded to. I can't remember what we were talking about. No, we're talking about Arcbound Ravager. I was playing with my cousin, and he didn't know how it like worked because he was like, "I'm gonna kill that creature." I'm like, "Okay, I'll sacrifice it to Ravager." And he was like, "What? You can't do that." I'm like, "Yeah, you can't respond to the sacrifice." So then he thought that you couldn't respond to any sacrifice in any fashion. And I'm like, no, it's just that you can't respond to activations, right? Or costs being paid. You can't respond to those. So he didn't get it. So I had to triple down and say everything to the left of the semicolon on every Magic card cannot be responded to. Like the left of these two dots, anything to the left of it, you can't respond to it. And then he finally got it. Alright, so that was insane. They also found an answer to our ramp spell, which is also quite insane. Wow, that was crazy. Alright, I mean, yeah. Run this out and just pass the turn. Opponent had turn 1 Soul Ring. Really? You just nothing? Nothing at all? Not a single thing to do here? You didn't even cast your commander. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, yeah, if this is the game we're playing, I am not upset. Okay. It goes your hand, right? Why do they not... What? Oh, shoot. I need to kill... Oh, no! Oh! I should have, obviously... Yep. Wow. Alright, well, opponent just high-rolled us into absolute oblivion, and I punished myself, just not paying attention. Yikes. I don't know why they manually tapped. That was weird. That was very strange. Okie dokie. Land and blow it up. But, of course, they have Arch Varazka, because why wouldn't they? And Augur. Nope. I'm waiting. Just gonna wait. Yeah, fine. Of course. Opponent forgoes Azusa, which makes sense. Nice. We got the 2-for-1 that we were kind of looking for. So we name Odd. Obviously, it would have been better to hit their commander, but maybe hitting their commander... Maybe I shouldn't have waited in any capacity, because this in play doesn't really do anything, unless, obviously, they have ways to play off the top, which I should have answered last turn. Probably. I don't know. Alright. Okay. That's fine. I might actually wind up O-ringing that. Depends what they discard. Because that might be the only way to generate the color that it generated. Ravenous Pursuit is in fact not... I hate how I have to read this. Is in fact not one of the cards that the thing can generate, so... No, it's not. Wait, what was the last card? Hold up. Okay, so no, it was not this that they could generate. So they found something that they seem like they were interested in casting that might be a different color. So I just want to deal with this. That's decent in a spot like this, I think. We're also above our max life total, so we start drawing cards. Never mind. Never mind. Opponent firing up the old mobilized district. I think that was a bit of an order mistake. Probably should have saw what you draw first. At least I think I would. Contending with Ulamog might just be impossible, though. We'll see. No, we're not really in the market for discard. We're kind of in the market to just continuously answer threats. They already have... Look. Oh, come on. That's annoying. It's like, oh, right when they get to 10 mana. Ulamog. Opponent drew perfectly, and we blew ourselves out with the stupid whatever you call it. But the turn 1 Llanowar Elves into Dawn of whatever. That sucks, because that's a really easy matchup usually. At least in my opinion. Super easy. It's like 70-30. But, I mean, if you can't answer Ulamog, I guess it's just impossible to win, no matter how you slice it. We take losses, though. Can't get too upset. Or really upset at all. Oh, yeah, for the record, I'm not actually upset. I just want to win. That's all. If this was high stakes, maybe I would be upset, but I'm not genuinely raging out here. Torrens, what do you do? What is this? Green, white, creatures, 1/1s, blah, blah, blah. So we want sweepers. We don't have one. We could rely on the 9 lives thing if we find the other half. I don't like Slayer's Bounty, though. Okay, double sweeper seems fine. No white. Alright, so we found the white source. Might actually get to... ooh, okay, maybe not. I was going to say, I might just use it now here, this Bloodchief's Thirst. Do we? Do we thirst this token? This seems really weird. I'm not going to do that. If all they do is beast next turn, we can actually just not care about it by killing... Well, their commander makes 1/1, so the beast will always be able to do something. What do I do? I think we tutor for... You didn't think I was upset until I said I wasn't? You never know, man. Some people... But no, I can't really get upset in this format. Which is a huge reason to play it. It's just amazing. Did we get another sweeper? Did we just get another... No, we don't. We do not. We could get Edgar here. It is a harassing threat that they have to deal with. I actually really like that here. It's almost a Dawn of Hope that I don't have to pay for, except it doesn't draw cards. Okay. When do they get the 1/1? Whenever you cast a creature spell. Oh, man, that's one that I can't just blow up. Opponent, why are you being mean? Okay, well, we get Edgar online. Obviously, we don't care if we kill it. It also stonewalls their... Ooh. Stonewalls their attacks. Maybe we can sauce out a Prey Upon effect. I would also like to Swords of Plowshares this, so giving them Devotion just sitting there seems nice. What on earth is that? Yeah, we're gonna take the trade. Because we're not upset this dying. Maybe we shouldn't have taken the trade, though. Ooh, because I really want to Swords this. But, I mean, as long as this is all they're doing, we don't really care, right? We don't really care about anything. That came out wrong. Whatever, we'll just pass. Really? Really? Come on. What are you doing running that? Come on. Come on. Alright. I can mortify it to create a 4-mana token, which is actually quite nice here. Yep, resolve. Yeah, this is pretty nice. This doesn't even add to Devotion to Nylea. Yep. And I'll kill your commander, and I guess I'll trade off with this. Seems fine. They actually don't have the mana to recast their commander, so now they're super far away from doing anything. Is there a reason they didn't cast this? Is there a reason they did not cast this? Creature spells cost 1 less. They did not cast this. I don't know why. Very strange to me. Very strange. I almost want to name it with Silencer, but I think I'd prefer to name their actual commander. Torrens, the blah blah blah. Yeah. And then... We're not upset if this dies right now, right? We're not upset. Do we pass? Do we swing? Yeah, we saw some. I'm curious why they did not cast Lovestruck Beast. Maybe they did not realize they could, because it costs 2 mana off of Nylea. Certainly a possibility. Playing around a sweeper does not seem like a good idea on this spot, especially when the only thing that would die to a sweeper is like a single card. Okay, so that's a 3/4. I'm going to Swords that to keep the board stable. I will also trade. Anything to get us farther and farther away from actually needing to cast a sweeper seems like a really good thing to do, right? This seems totally fine. Because now we actually have the board, which almost never happens in this deck. Tap, pass. And we have a way to draw more than 1 card a turn. Not too many, though. But until our opponent does something crazy, we're not really after more cards, right? Hey! Nice. It actually did something. Oh, shoot, I should have castled first. Alright, it was almost a perfect turn, but I found a way to mess it up. I am me after all. Okay, check for traps. Okay, that's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem. I guess I'll deal with that. And I would like to Thoughtseize the Primal Command as well. I could Thoughtseize it to take the card that they name, right, that they tutor for instead. Is that more reasonable? I could kill their commander. Yeah, we're going to kill their commander, actually, and Thoughtseize them. And it's kind of a safe attack. There's no haste. I can take 1. They can't get enough devotion by any means. If they primal... They do not primal command. I feel like they should have, but they did not. Okay, that's fine. Do they now realize they can Lovestruck Beast? It does not appear so. Alright, what do you do whenever you cast a creature spell of snow spell's color? I almost want to trade Kambal with the 3/2, because we don't really need Kambal in play. And if it just dies, we're not upset in any way. Okay, opponent wisely does not do anything. I'm going to sorcery speed this. Alright, kind of unfortunate. Not the end of the world. This Nylea is also still currently, I think, the most annoying permanent. But so far it hasn't actually done anything. Alright, cast your commander again. Let me draw another card. Let me draw another card. Or play into a discard spell with the Primal Command. Okay, this goes on top, right? Yep. I'm curious what they get. If they get Ulamog, we're not upset. We are not upset. Not enough. Not even near enough lands. They get Pelt Collector? Why on earth would you get Pelt Collector? Just to cast it now? That just seems so weird. Also, Tormod's Crypt was probably a bit of a mistake on their part there. Can we go a bit lower? I suppose we can. I don't like sweeping the board. We've surprisingly been able to keep it locked down. That's not great, but I guess I will cast it. It is a castable card. And we pass, I think. We could swing with a 3/2. No. No. I'd like to have them cast their commander again. They have never cast as Lovestruck Beast, which is extremely weird to me. Sure. Alright, so now we have a sweeper that's decent. Oh, no. No! Wait, what? Why are you not... What are you doing? That doesn't seem... Okay. Sure. Take action. And then Kaya's Wrath. Yeah, we're gonna Kaya's Wrath. I'll gain 1 life, because I lose a creature. But again, Nylea might wind up being a problem. There's a land, it goes into the graveyard, right? Yeah. There's always a way somebody in some game like draws additional cards of some fashion in like everything. Do we cast Kambal again? I feel like it's just gonna die. So I don't think I do. Is there anything I can find right now? I guess technically there is. Well, that's not terrible. It kills their commander if they wind up doing that. It's not unreasonable. I will just re-kill it though. Just to get cards out of hand for my castle. And now it's astronomically far away from being recast. And they apparently do not have a land in hand. Okay, I'm going to play my commander now. We're getting a bit... Actually, no, let's run this out. Yeah. Getting a bit low here. I'll just take it. And we pass. What was this card? I didn't even read it. Sure. Sure. Almost feel like they shouldn't cast that because my castle gets better the more they cast things, right, that are non-creatures. There's a land, it's going away. Yeah, Nylea has denied 2 dead draws, which is annoying. Opponent is dead next turn if they don't have anything because we drew a manland. And I will play it safe by not activating castle. Oracle? Oh, can't kill it in response. Hey, not a land. Alright. Put it to your hand, sure. Not a land. So can we... Can't really do much, unfortunately. But we are going to start with this. Yeah, we can't kill them. We can put them to 2, unfortunately. But we get to draw a card and just only lose 2 life, which is really nice. Ooh, does that kill them? Is there anything I can find? I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. Alright, so let's do this. The card they're drawing is also not good, right? Because it's not doing anything. Oh, we put them to 1 because this has Menace. Right. I guess I'll take this Skyclave. Doesn't really matter, but it might end up mattering. I don't know. They actually needed to do runner creature that were also both castable, so they got quite lucky there, all things considered. We can O-ring Nylea and then we guarantee win, actually, right? Because they cannot mill this card off the top of their deck. Alright, nice. Yeah, because we exile this, they can't do it on their upkeep, they have to draw poop, and then they don't have the mana to cast, or do they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they don't have the mana to recast this, and it wouldn't do anything anyways, because a single creature in the face of a menace thing doesn't do anything. Oh, you're back? Welcome back. We've only lost 1 game so far, and it was a pretty good matchup, too. Just opponent had an insane opening sequence. Put us to 4-1, so we didn't get the trophy. No trophy league this time. Alright, it's another mono green deck. A little bit more of a challenging commander to deal with, but as long as we can maybe prevent it from actually hitting us, we're not super scared of it. This hand is... Oh, this hand is so questionable. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do it. No can do. We have no answer to their commander with this hand. I will lead with duress. Maybe I can take out... rip. Oh, they have a Nylea. No. A lot of mono green, dude. Man, it's a lot of mono green. kind of crazy. I was hoping to hit a mana rock there, but we actually hit a card that doesn't really do anything at all against us, right? Do we play Solemnity? No, we play this. We play this so we can immediately crack it before Rex Sage does some nonsense. Oh, they get the Toski next turn, though? Ugh. We did not hit an exile effect. I guess I take this. It's not horrible. It's not great, though. I have to sweep the board so they don't start drawing a bunch of cards instantly. Yeah, I have to do this. So when they go to cast Toski, we don't just lose. I don't have an answer to Toski. This is just not good. Opponents respecting O-ring effects, though, it seems. Could be wrong. That might not be what they're doing, but we're going to run... We're going to foretell this, and then we're going to... Is there any reason to play Solemnity right now? I don't think so. But if our opponent blows up an enchantment with Rex Sage, I might as well have that enchantment not be scary. Like a super relevant one. I don't know. I'll just cast my commander. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less. Why is Rex Sage displaying 3 mana, but Toski is displaying 3? This should display 2. That's kind of weird. We can infinitely block this, given the current state of the game. Ooh. 1, 2. Just 2. Oh, actually, this is actually really good, right? We get to exile now, so it only becomes a 3. But I'm going to kill it regardless with the Iron Verdict. So it doesn't matter how big this gets. I think I'm going to run out the Scriptures. It incentivizes our opponent to play Rex Sage, which is nice, right? We don't care if we lose this. We don't need it as a sweeper. This is also now a 3/4. Field of Ruin. Okay, well. That was a good last card. Okay, I just can't exile this. I just can't O-ring it. It's just, this is bad. Whoa, what? They don't... Alright, it doesn't make sense to swing that. This is indestructible, right? 2 indestructible creatures. Okay. I think this is over now, actually. We can't even turn off the... Can't even turn anything off. Ooh! Nah, that doesn't kill anything useful, though. Not really. I have to cast it, though, but it's not doing anything. They just sacrifice Toski. But I might as well force them to do that. It doesn't really make sense to sacrifice the Beast Whisperer in any capacity, at least in my opinion. But we'll see. Wait, what? Oh! I thought it was mana cost. Highest mana value. This is 4. Why were they... Oh, this is 4. I thought this was 3. I thought this was 3. That's my bad. That's my bad. I don't see Solemnity as being useful, so I will just run this out and pass. Ooze now has another creature to eat, so it can actually start swinging. But there was no stop. Oh, they didn't eat their Nylea in response. A little bit of a misplay there. It was kind of free to just do that. And I'm pretty sure it is a creature when it's in the graveyard, so... We can now officially block this. This isn't a terrible spot to be in. I can Iron Verdict the Beast Whisperer. Okay, sure, it's just drawing a card. The naturalized effect isn't super scary at all. We're not really utilizing our Rest in Peace. Is this the Alpha Strike turn? It is not. I think we just block this so they don't draw a card. And then we... What do we do now? Shadow's Verdict exiles not enough. Just doesn't exile enough. Okay. Yeah, I think we're more interested in looking for things, so we're just gonna play this and pass. This is bad. That is a sweeper, but it doesn't kill Toski, so I can't keep it. We can Iron Verdict the Beast Whisperer. Hopefully they swing swing before they cast things, so they don't draw cards. Looks like they are here. So creatures don't draw, but they still draw an immeasurable amount of cards, and I can't keep up with it. Oh, that's insane. Yeah, this is over. This is over. If they cast maybe 2 creatures that I can hit with Shadow's Verdict, while at the same time somehow stopping Toski, we're in a decent spot, I guess. Kaya's Verdict would have... Kaya's Wrath, whatever, would have obviously answered everything they could play. Okay, looks like we did wind up answering everything they played, but not Toski. I'll get a... Does it matter what color? Not really. Alright, Shadow's Verdict. Do your thing. It exiles the troll, so they can't have it come back. And they are only drawing 1 card a turn instead of 4. Okay, now they start eating things. Kind of strange. If they eat this, it means they have nothing that interacts with their own graveyard. So I guess we can pick up some knowledge there. Alright, so it looks like they can in fact interact with their graveyard, I would imagine. Alright, let's scry into... I don't even know. There's no permanent answer to Toski, right? Because... yeah, I don't know. That's certainly not it. Do they Field of Ruin? They do not. They didn't have anything scarier last turn, which is kind of interesting. Okay. It's kind of problematic. Sort of. I mean, as long as it's the only creature in play, I guess it isn't. But we're at the point where we have to draw something. We have bumped into a surprising amount of indestructible threats, which is kind of funny. Does this have trample? It does, so we can't stop it from killing us. Yeah, alright, GG's. Still a good game. Pretty lopsided. It's just so hard to deal with this, right? It's incredibly difficult. Maybe, do we have reprobation in here? Maybe we should. It does turn off... I mean, even Vadric, if we had it, we would be kind of happy. It does turn off some stuff. We could even run Overwhelming Splendor. I like I'm going to stop trying to pronounce that. I'm just making myself look like a fool. Oh, shoot. I just said the name of the card. Okay, I don't own it. I don't own Overwhelming Splendor. Would this have been good? Let's see. I suppose it sort of is. If reprobation is good, I think Overwhelming Splendor is good. Same with the other massive curse, the black one. I think it's the same set. There's not many curses. I can just filter by curse here. Cruel Reality would have been very, very good in that spot, because they only had 1 creature, right? This also is somewhat of a win condition. This doesn't really... yeah, it's a lot of mono green, you're right. A lot of mono green. It doesn't play nicely with reprobation, right? Because they'll just sacrifice this card. So maybe I can run one or the other. I'm not a fan of running cards that don't like to be next to each other. Like if I have Rest in Peace and a bunch of graveyard-based things, I don't like it. I mean, I technically don't have to play the Rest in Peace in games where it's not doing anything, but you never know, right? Even a random Scavenging Ooze is an issue. We had 1 piece of the 9 lives package, right, in that game. If we found the other, we could have technically flat out won on the spot, barring any additional naturalize effect, because they already played 2. So maybe there was a case we could have pulled that off. We had outs in that last game, certainly. This also doesn't play with all my sweepers. Yeah, we're going to drop that. I'll try Cruel Reality, though. I certainly will try it. Certainly will try it. Maybe Shadow's Verdict can go. Maybe we have enough sweepers already, and that is certainly one of the weaker ones. It doesn't hit everything. Yeah, we'll drop that. That's fine. But do we want Overwhelming Splendor? For now, I say no. For now, I say no. It doesn't do anything against non-creature decks, right? So the 2 games we have lost are against mono green, which is quite surprising, given the amount of removal and sweepers. But indestructible things have certainly been out of our favor. Okay, so we're back against a favorable matchup, which is mono green again. Is there seriously some sort of tier list bracket? Are you serious? Like, you play Kambal and suddenly you're only against Azuzas? Like, really? That's just so stupid. There's always something, I swear, there's always something about every format that makes it ridiculous, right? In this instance, apparently the most ridiculous thing is your opponents literally can only be certain commanders of tiers, which is immeasurably stupid in my opinion. That is very stupid. It also kind of explains why, if you look at the win rates of certain commanders, it might be so high, because you're only playing against certain decks, and you might just tailor your deck to be good against them, and then you just stomp on the same things you see all the time. It just seems so undescribably backwards. My opponent not only did not level this up, they did not cast their commander. I am extremely... Evolving Wilds. Blame my last. Okay, so we're going to probably make them discard here. Yeah, I don't want to get hit by anything crazy. This seems fine. Talk about getting hit by crazy stuff. Oh my god. We don't really care about this, actually. This is annoying. So we're going to take this. I don't have a solid answer to that. I have Cleansing Nova in my deck, but I'm not taking this no matter how you slice it. Skill-based matchmaking. Yeah, right? They have the ranking system. Ranked Historic Brawl would remove this, but then unfortunately you start winning too much, you're only going to play against Keenan. And that's not fun either. Well, not for me at least. I probably would give it a shot though. Okay, so I would like another discard spell. Killing this is kind of useless. We have a hilarious hand. I guess I get Elspeth Conquers Death, although we're kind of far from casting it, because this sitting there is annoying. What do you do? I didn't even read this. Roll a d20, 0, discard your hand. Graveyard, draw 2, creature from graveyard. Okay, so if I have Rest in Peace, this is pretty weak. It could still draw 2 cards, though, which is kind of annoying. It's actually pretty solid here. I don't have a way to deactivate it or anything like that. I'm not going to Field of Ruin this turn, so the only thing I can realistically do is this. We are playing against mono green decks that are not playing into the board heavily, unfortunately. I also can't Elspeth's Nightmare and hit both of these. There's a chance I don't hit either if I cast this, but it might be the only thing I can realistically cast in this spot. I think that's fine. Just dealing with things immediately and literally being able to cast my cards seems like a good idea, right? So, because otherwise I can't cast anything if they just play the God Pharaoh statue. So I might as well play something. I don't know. Vanifar with a 68% win rate. Yeah, like what is it playing against? What is it playing against? Pauper Golos? Like, these tier lists are just... I want to see what they look like. I want to see what every tier looks like. And how they're rating cards and efficiency and all that. It is such a joke format to have a tier list like that, because every single person's deck is different. I'm playing against a different deck right now. This is not remotely close to the other Azusa decks. Alright, so they found the land they need to cast both the cards under my potential discard spell. So, I guess I'm not hitting either of these. But there's still a chance I hit something solid. Of course, all of their threats are colorless. Thanks, Ujin. Thank you so much. That's really funny. Okay, so we kill Azusa. I will play Kambal just to gain some incidental life. It might matter, it might not. I can't blow this up. Obviously, it's got hexproof. My Field of Ruin. So we could gain some life here. Hopefully they do just cast the Citadel and I get to prevent them from playing the green Gifts Ungiven. That would be nice. Yeah. So we're not super scared of this, honestly. Like at all. Kind of more scared of the deck of many things, actually. Which cannot be activated currently. Vanishing Verse is... it has to be colored. Can't do anything about that. I think I will Vanishing Verse this Druid class. Technically, our opponent's not doing anything if I do that, right? They're just activating deck of many things, but just like the past 2 or 3 Azusa games, our opponent has found a way to draw more than one card a turn, which is annoying, and it's repeating. So the game really just boils down to this weird deck. It's cool to see the card, though. I've never seen it. Never seen it played. They also have a Lair of the Hydra. Could be an issue. Could be an issue. Okay, they rolled 13, which is draw 2. Yep, we're going to get soloed by the deck of many things. Gotta love those Hearthstone cards that have D20s on them. Okay, at least they didn't draw very strong, but those draws are now out of the way when they otherwise would not have been. I guess we can't swing now. Sure. Okay, didn't draw land. Let's play this. Activated it. That's all I can do. I guess I'll swing. D-Spark is quite good. Oh no, our opponent's sending us a message. No. There's an argument to not do this, so you can hit me with Azusa. Right? Just take 2. Like, what do you gotta lose? They rolled 13 2 times in a row. We can D-Spark this, and at this point we just have to, and hope they don't find another permanent that doesn't die to a sweeper that also draws cards. Fortunately, Godfrail statue has not been super problematic. If we're only casting 1 card a turn anyways, we're not super upset that they cost more, and losing 1 life is not gonna close this game out on its own. How is it not just Ulamog? They didn't snap Ulamog, so I guess we still have play. What? That has to be extraordinarily reckless. I do not understand that. I don't get the line. I don't get it. Can we get away with just taking the damage here? Can we actually get away with that? Can we get away with letting them swing and killing our stuff? No. They can actually give Kogla indestructible, so that doesn't even work. I will scry. Yep. Of course. Okay, they did not play Azusa first. A bit of a mistake. They got a random creature back to their hand there. Got the Fierce Empath, but technically you could argue we've answered the strongest card in their deck, right? That they decided to tutor for, so... I don't know what's next. Kind of interesting they got Kogla. If that is the strongest card, we're certainly... happy, right? This book is just completely soloing me. Like, it's just ridiculous. We're completely being soloed by this book. It's just insane. Okie dokie. Alright, let's finally answer this stupid thing. And then we'll draw off of our thing here. And then technically sweep the board next turn. So we're not dead to the board, even though we can't untap after the fact because Forniclix is in play. But we can beat the board as long as it's just the board. Okay. They have a ton of mana still because it doubles your mana. Cast Azusa. They have not found a land off the top of Augur yet, so we've lucked out in that regard. Okay. Go to combat. Okay. Played a land out of hand. It means the card on top is not a land, which we would have learned immediately anyways. They can fire up Hydra for 1? No. 2. You can swing for another 2. If they have nothing else to do this turn, they might as well. It's like free damage. Just fire up the Hydra for 2 here. They... Oh. Okay. Sure. You just didn't have that before? Okay. Apparently our opponent had Ulamog and just twice in a row did not get it with Fierce Empeth. What do I know? What do I know? So we cast this, and then we can Soul Shatter Ulamog next turn, because we lose the ability to untap. Obviously, I have to do this or I'm just dead, so... Okay, scry here, I guess. Looks like we're going to go 2-2 against Azusa here. I don't think we're going to win this. This doesn't come in untapped, so it doesn't really do anything. Sleep the board. We lose 2 lands, and then we get hit for 10. But we're not just dead, right? Like, we can... We lose 2 lands and have to invest all our... No, we have to find a land, actually, to cast this, right? Yeah. We lose both our white sources, too, but that wasn't super relevant. I guess Primal Command exactly was good, because it bounced this, and I needed that mana to immediately cast this, and now I can't. So I actually do have to find a land. Opponent just, I don't know. They're like, maybe just playing with their food. It does not make any sense to not draw this. And then they have Harmonize. So they're not running out of cards. Okay. Land. So we found the land. So we lose a lot of cards, and we have to prevent ourselves from dying to... Are we just dead, though? 7, 8, 9, 10. We're dead to Lair of the Hydra if our opponent realizes. I did not realize till just now, so... I mean, we're dead to Ulamog, but... Lair just closes it out. If they realize. Okay. Yep. That game was over 4 turns ago. If our opponent for some reason got Ulamog earlier with the Fierce Empeth. I don't know why they ever got Kogla. You just cast Ulamog and win the game. Very strange to me. Like, it seemed like they were also kind of respecting sweepers, and then proceeded to get a creature that just dies to a sweeper, while also removing my own creature, which further incentivizes me to cast a sweeper. So that was very strange. Even if you don't have the mana at the time, just get Ulamog. Because eventually you will have the mana. Is this hand good against Kethis? Thoughtseize is decent. Arcane Signet's decent. Ominous Traveler is not great, but really just looking for rest in peace, I think. But I'm not going to mulligan for it viciously or anything like that. Den of the... No. Hive of the Tyrant. Okay, so they mill 3. They got Gonti and Grave there. Bojuka Bog is also pretty solid, I will admit. Cultivate. Veil of Summer. Profane Command? What the... Okay, good thing we don't play to the board, really. Is Veil annoying? Veil is annoying. I don't care about your mana. I don't care. Veil is annoying. It doesn't stop Bojuka Bog. It is, in fact, a colorless target. This is a colorless thing here, but, you know. Alright, that's pretty good. They can't Profane Command that. I don't know if we'll ever get to it, but if we do, it is there to have be done. So next turn we just cast... We could cast Kambal and then they just Profane Command it, which is fine, but... Could also just cast Ominous Traveler. When do I mill... What do they have to exile to do things? 2 legendaries to cast a legendary. Okay, so they actually can't do anything for what currently appears to be a while. Well, we drew a creature, unfortunately, in the face of what's going on here. But not much I can do about that. I guess I'll lead with this. Guess I'll take this. That's fine. And then I'll name Kethis, so maybe we get some value out of this. I could name Profane Command, but that seems... Do I name? No, we name Kethis. It just locks up our opponent's mana for a while, right? Like, they're just constantly having to deal with this silencer. They have to cast the command, then tap 5 mana to activate it. It could be a reasonable amount of time being bought. Well, opponent didn't really give it much thought. They just snapped it off there. We can exile this. I'm not opposed to doing that. I think I'd prefer to pick up this... Yeah, let's just loot currently, maybe? I don't even know if I want Dire Tactics. Actually, you know what? I'm going to loot away the Traveler. It does not feel good here. Yeah. I'm not feeling it. So we're going to exile this. I do control a human, which is hilarious. And I can't just forego my land drop, so we're going to do this here. And now if our opponent's spending their entire turn killing a 3-2, we're not upset. We also have an answer to this, actually, with another mana source, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I cannot imagine they have any other decision other than Profane Procession. So... it exiles both our stuff. Ugh. You know what? I'm going to incentivize them to exile Kambal, because I don't care about it. Really wish we drew a land, though. Nope. Opponent correctly exiles the right card, which is really annoying, because now we don't draw a card. But at least that does mean they might have been overly frightened of this card, given the fact that they don't have a graveyard, so this actually isn't doing anything. Legendaries cost 1 less, but they already have 7 mana, so... We drew... I think these are the only cards in our deck that are 6 or more, right? We drew all of them. Okay, well, that's a problem. I need to draw land. That was not what I expected in any way. I did not expect that. They probably should have plussed. Did not draw a land. Okay, well, I'm gonna kill the Garruk because they let us do this. Wow. Certainly would have made sense to make wolves there. I don't know what they were thinking. This prevents them from playing to the board this turn with creatures, and then we can exile the Garruk, which keeps the graveyard continuously locked down, but none of this matters if we don't draw a land. Well, they thought really hard about their last turn, even though it seemed like a pretty straightforward turn. It looks like they're doing it again. Okay. This one's a little bit better. Certainly. Certainly better here. Okay, we found the land, sort of. It's not great, but it is what it is. Are we killing this in any way? No, we're playing a tap land this turn, so we're not. I'm going to tutor for Rest in Peace? Kind of have to, right? I think it's quite important that I have Rest in Peace, so we should probably do that. It turns off their commander. It's probably the best card in our deck for this matchup, so not much to think about. No, they probably have answers, like Assassin's Trophy, Maelstrom Pulse, Binding of the Old Gods, some weird Planeswalker. Vanishing Verse. Okie dokie. Castle Ardenvale. Wow. That means this game, they're interested in a long game then. That's interesting, because we're not even running that, I don't think. Maybe I threw it in and wasn't realizing it, but this 2/3 has also been kind of annoying, but it's not going to kill this Liliana. The -3 is a reanimate, right? Yeah. They have their own Kambal? Okay, that's fine. Fortunately, they're not vanishing versing the Cruel Reality, because it's gone. So they need yet another Naturalize effect. How many have they had so far? I think that was actually the only one, right? Yeah, we actually haven't had a straight up one. Do I blow this up? I think just casting this is a good thing. But we're in a spot where this is why I don't like this card, because our opponent can just keep making tokens. I think I have to play this in minus on Liliana. I could play my own Liliana in -2. Or just plus. Yeah, let's actually just do this in plus. We'll put them on a decent clock. It's a decent clock. Profane Procession isn't doing anything too crazy. Just exiling my tokens for a bunch of mana does not seem like a good spot to be in. So, and then I can see, but the problem is I have to answer the graveyard again. Also, when this flips, you can play the creatures under it, and these are kind of alright, not like the craziest things they can hit, but you never know. So do they exile my token with the Procession? I don't see why they wouldn't. We also don't draw a card if they do that, so it's kind of quite the win-win to, in fact, do that. So I think they probably should exile it, then hit Liliana for a bunch of damage. Opponent thought long and hard about playing a land. They also have Hive. Oh yeah, this is bad. This is not looking good. I will trade a token. Opponent. Ooh, that was a really good draw, because now Ujin's not under threat of just being killed by damage. Is there any reason to plus first? I don't know. I don't think so. We're just doing this. Lose 4 life. Don't really care. I don't think this is about life totals. Kind of surprised to see this in their deck, actually. Profane Procession can exile your own creatures, so I can't stop them from doing this eventually. Might as well just plus, though. I don't want to cast Murderous Rider. I don't want them to exile it. In fact, maybe it should, because I don't really care about these cards at all, right? I don't really care if that's what they're doing. Because otherwise they are just going to exile my tokens anyways, and I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah, this could overload their mana. This could overload their mana. Because they have to tap too much to do things, so... This also gets the Procession out of the way forever, as it will flip into a land. So, seems nice. I've never played against this ever, and that's funny. The one time I'm playing against it, we also are running it, and it also actually does something. Okay, so they probably just get the Murderous Rider, I would assume, or the draw discard card as well, if they don't like the card in their hand. They name Kambal, which is what I was expecting, and is also fine, because I'm never going to cast it again. Was never planning on it. Well, guess we're back to Ujin doing something. Kind of need that to be a thing again. They mill over 1 legendary, which is a weird one. We're not super scared of that one. This is the 2nd legendary for Kethis. And Ujin does, in fact, die to the board now. I will certainly trade tokens. Yeah, we're going to trade tokens here. That's fine. That's funny. Okay. Wait a minute. Can we just plus this instead? You got confused all the green? Yeah. Forgot they were just that. Yeah, I guess we just plus this actually, right? I think we do. It's gonna die, but we have to answer Liliana. Otherwise, these cards are kind of not doing anything. I think we're just dead no matter how you slice it, though, because we're just slowly dwindling away. And we're not actually getting anywhere at all in any means. Okay, probably just get Murderous Rider. Yep. When this dies, I think it goes into my library. I don't think they like own this now or anything weird. Though knowing the nuances of Magic Arena, you never know, I guess. But this is a one-turn clock. Not killing Liliana doesn't really get us anywhere. They just reanimate something crazy, and we lose that way. So it really just boils down to a sweeper, no matter how you slice it. Kind of surprised to see them cast Kethis with nothing to do with it. What does this do? Exile a card, you gain life. Okay, can we do anything? Nope, dead. They played, for some weird reason, they just played all into a sweeper at the end there, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know. That's very strange. I don't agree with that. I think there's no reason to play Kethis if you don't have anything to do with him. Just let him sit there. Maybe playing around 5 removal spells or something. I don't know. But that doesn't matter because they have Kambal in play, which wound up being relevant. We didn't have enough life to spam removal spells. Oh well, GG's. Interesting game. Neither of our commanders were incredibly relevant that game. Actually, them blowing up Rest in Peace didn't actually do anything. And the one time I could play Cruel Reality, it was completely useless. We keep this. Okay. Shaper's Sanctuary. That's decent. Do we want to land? I think we actually do. You could argue we could just grind out a sweeper, but I'm going to just stick with the lands here. Can play Cold Steel Heart next turn. Actually, I probably should just name Colossus with this before it comes in play, so I at least get something out of this. Colossus. There's no way you lightning bolt this. Okay. Lotus Cobra means ramp spells, so there might be a slower deck. Is this when I target them with discard spells as well, or just creatures? Just creatures. Okay, we can try to prevent that from being a problem. They did have Lightning Bolt, huh? Oh, of course. Alright. Well, they've had a absurdly strong opener, but it doesn't seem like they're closing it out with anything too egregious, right? Because now all they're doing is this, and we're kind of happy. So we play this, and we play this on black. And we pass. Maybe we could run Gonti in our deck. Seems pretty popular. It's a pretty solid card. If we get Rest in Peace, we don't have to worry about Colossus, which is really nice. Okay. This gets 2 lands. You blow up 1 land and you get 2 more or something like that, right? Yeah. We can Conquer's Death Colossus because it is 3. And it's not a creature currently, so Shaper's Sanctuary won't do anything. So that's pretty nice. It's not doing much to actually pull that off, but I'm not doing anything in the meantime, and I don't want to leave up... Yeah, we're just going to do this here. I don't get to reanimate the thing in time for it to be relevant, though. The Silencer, because I just recast Colossus. I basically gave our opponent something to do. It's funny. I think they have a land in hand, they're not casting it, which is kind of strange. Given the board, I might as well sweep it. It's... Yeah, we have a spot removal spell. We'll just sweep the board, keep it clean. Play this tapped, pass the turn. Oh, they also get to just eat the creature I could potentially have reanimated, so that actually doesn't matter at all, yeah. Okay, another Menadork, don't really care, although that one is bigger than the last 2. Substantially. Alright, that's good. That's pretty good. But we are in a position where we need to draw things. Can we play this and leave up? No, we can't. I'm not going to kill this before they take their whole turn or anything. They draw a card if I do that, and if they have something that's more than 7, so be it. Sure. There was no playing around this. Get a... I'll get plans here. Yeah, it looks like Shaper's Sanctuary is going to draw a card, I think. Maybe we can forego it for... No, we're taking too much incidental back and forth damage from Klothys. I'd rather just keep myself as healthy as possible for as long as possible and just accept that they're going to draw a card. Starting to feel like I cast a sweeper a little too early, huh? Do we have a scry land? We do not. Okay. Your turn, Kambal. Do something. They have only played one non-creature... Oh, no, I guess two, technically. Oh, no, 3 and 4. I'm done. They have nothing. Oh, my goodness. But neither do we. Neither do we. Yep, this is what I was talking about. We need Rest in Peace or we lose, kind of. Or some sort of incidental life gain. Okay, yeah. We're against a red-green deck, and we drew all the sweepers after they don't have any creatures. I don't understand why they don't have anything, though. Like, nothing at all seems really weird. Really? You just have nothing? Wow. Yeah, I guess this is free to just cast, so I will. I mean, we're... Okay. Eventually there'll be no cards in graveyard. 6 more? No, that's enough to kill us. What is this hand? Come on, dude. Oh, literally anything. I have so many tutors. Idyllic Tutor, Rest in Peace, Grim Tutor, Mastermind's Acquisition. The 2 cards that gain me life. Okay, alright, we're good. Oh, man. Oh, that was almost scary. Alright, so go away. So we've hit parity. Well, maybe. They're not playing anything, and I'm very confused as to why. Very confused. Okay, we gain some life. We draw a card. No, they draw a card. It makes our sweeper a little bit better. I wasn't going to interact with this in any way anyways. Wait, this is Riot, which gives potential haste, right? Yeah, so I guess I'm not swinging anymore, because I'd rather... Ooh! Well, maybe I am. Are we swinging? Are we really killing our opponent with damage this game? Are we really going to do that? How do they gain life with this? No. Until I enter the graveyard, I'm not realistically killing my opponent with damage. I'd rather just play around a massive trampler. We definitely don't need that. I also don't want to blow up their artifacts and enchantments. I could, but then we lose this, and we're back to dealing with Klothys. Okay, we're back to dealing with Klothys. This is sketchy. They did lose this, so they can't swing. Oh, they swing, though. Okay, this is nice. This is nice. Actually, we're fine with not losing that. So this gives us the life linkers. Oh, never mind. I denied my own card because of the runestone. That is actually unbelievable. Wow. That is insane that that just happened to me. Oh my god. Alright. That's really funny. Wow. Denied my own card. Alright. Destroy artifacts and enchantments. And then run this out. I denied my own card with the rune. That is immeasurably depressing. Okay. They should not swing. They do not. Okay, we're drawing lands for days. And so starting this turn, we start to stabilize. So hopefully they didn't draw anything crazy. I cannot believe we did that. That is just so... Wow, they're swinging? This is not correct. You should not swing. Oh my god, they're swinging. Okay. Bit of a questionable play. I'll take it, though. Maybe they want to reanimate that? Was this wrong? Maybe we could have played around a reanimate spell? I don't know. I just don't think I would swing there. Opponent has, in fact, flooded out undescribably bad, which is really funny. Like, really, really, really bad. But I guess we're kind of stabilized at this point. It seems. Until they draw, like, Ulamog or something. Don't swing, opponent. Don't do it. Okay, they didn't do it this time. I'm not going to scry. I'm going to make 1/1s with my thing here. Alright, they have more cards in graveyard, so Bojuka Bog could finally deny the ability to consistently do stuff against us. Oh, we hit it. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to hold on to Bojuka Bog. I'm going to hold on to Bojuka Bog, because if this gets blown up, I would like to eventually find something to do. Okay. We gain life. We draw a card. This is huge. Ooh, this game was crazy, but I think we've turned the corner. Oh my god. Alright, gain some life. Draw another card here. I'll run this back out, because every time they play a non-creature, we gain life. And that's pretty... It seems pretty nice to do that right now. Oh my god. Okay. They haven't scooped yet, so maybe there's something I'm not aware of. I think they should trade with a token here, just to get it off the board, so I'm not continuously doing that. This would be a huge mistake to play. Pass a turn. We also found a removal spell now, so we're pretty much safe against a lot of crazy nonsense. This does deny us attacking them, but at this point I don't think we even care about that. We'd rather just do this, right? Yeah, we'll just untap. Okay, I didn't draw an answer, so I'll just do this. Get it out of the way so I can keep attacking. Play Evolving Wilds, crack it. Opponent does have outs, though. Like, Ulamog off the top could still be a problem, right? It still absolutely could be a problem that we don't really have an answer to, so hopefully they don't draw it. But our opponent has had a pretty weak draw, but at the same time, we're still doing what they were trying to do. Okay, we found 2 more answers to Ulamog, so I'm kind of happy. Explore, redraw. Yep, we gain some life. I guess I'll draw. It's kind of free. Into another land? Ooh. 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 Okay, they said good game and didn't scoop. We're kind of done drawing cards, so we're just not going to do that. We've also successfully made it so we never had to cast Bojuka Bog, right? We can discard a sweeper at this point, maybe? I doubt we'll need 2, but let's be real, we probably don't need another removal spell. And if they play some giant token generating thing twice in a row, I'd like to not die to it. Alright, I'm not going to let you hit me. You're not allowed to, you're banned. I will draw off of this. Storm's Wrath. Alright, so I guess I was right in sweeping. Draw off of this. Sweep the board. So they played an army of tokens and then played a... They still play the red sweepers. Kind of interesting. Another removal spell. Yeah, let's just run this back out. Why not? Feels good every time he's in play. Yeah, let's try to close this game out. Just start swinging. Before they hit something that's just criminal. And pass, discard. A spot removal spell and this Traveler, not doing much. They're in the game for a reason. I imagine there's a card that they can draw. That is not it. I will not draw. Because we have lethal through everything, which is spamming Dawn of Hope tokens. So I'll just pass. Sunbird's Invocation. That's funny. Okay. Opponent, we already said good game. This game should have been over a while ago. I mean, it was over. It was over for a while, but... Wow, that was crazy. Opponent flooded out so hard. Like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 lands. So... Okay, maybe they didn't flood out super hard, actually. Maybe they didn't flood out that hard. Let's see what they drew. One massive creature at the very end. One decent-sized one there. An effective Sage. A ton of mana dorks and ramp spells. Actually, only one ramp spell. Interesting that they're running Strike It Rich. I'm a fan of this card, but there's a group of people that don't like this card, but I do. To each their own, I suppose. They're also running sweepers with an insane amount of mana dorks, so you don't really want to be there. There's just a chance they were just running 50 lands or something. Kind of felt like that. It felt like they were running more lands than them just flooding out, given what I saw. Which is strange, because they're running so many mana dorks, and when is it enough? There has to be something. I mean, there were 62 more cards to be seen, so I don't know. I don't know. GG's, though. I think that'll be the last one. This deck was super fun. Funny enough, if I did not play the rune there, let me mouse over it, because if I start talking about cards and I'm not looking at them, I'm going to trip myself up. If I did not play the stacks card, this thing, the runestone, this would have flipped that game, right? And would have been a problem for them if this wasn't here. I just played it and then instantly regretted it, which is really funny because this didn't do anything against them. I probably just should not have cast it, obviously, in hindsight. Still playing around, I don't know, that toolbox card, like, you know, the X spell, pull a creature out of your deck and put it into play, right? At the time, I would have liked to have denied them that. But in hindsight, obviously, had I known, I probably could have just waited just one turn and had this going. And then when this is in play going away and they have no answer to it, that would have definitely stabilized this probably one turn cycle earlier, which may have been crucial, but fortunately didn't matter. If we ever found Solemnity, I guess we could have put this in play. But at that point, it wouldn't have mattered because we have enough life, and I don't want to get into a spot where Solemnity blows up, and then we die because we get 9 counters on this, and we feel dumb because Solemnity's exiled due to our rest in peace. But Cruel Reality, the one game where we could have cast it, the issue I have with the card is what happened. Is your opponent has tokens, and this doesn't do anything at all. In fact, that player had a Castle Ardenvale. This would not have done anything, except tap like 5 of their mana down, and I don't think at that point they were upset about that. What else? So I just don't like this card. I'm taking it out. I'm not a fan of it. It's good in multiplayer, but one-on-one, it's like Shield Druid but worse. Who cares about them losing 5 life? When are we killing our opponent with damage, right? We did the last game, but realistically the game was over far before they died to the damage. You can poke them to death. That would be technically your win condition because you actually have to still win the game. But the game doesn't really... Once you're at the point to successfully beat them to death, it doesn't matter how you're doing it with like a 1-1 or whatever. I just don't like that card at all. Overwhelming Splendor is probably better in every way if you want a massive curse on your opponent in a black-white deck, or black-white X, or whatever. Or just any style of curse. Any card that you think totally shuts down your opponent, Overwhelming Splendor is certainly stronger. The amount of sweepers felt good. Sometimes we maybe wanted one more, but even though we had 3 in a row that last game, I wasn't too upset about it because you never know what your opponent might just windmill off the top, and then you're happy you have a way to just answer it no matter what it is, barring it being indestructible. The spot removal spells felt good. Weathered Runestone is definitely a tech card. If you're against that Omniscience deck or whatever that we were playing yesterday, Luna, this stops Omniscience coming into play. But you can just play Omniscience still like we did and still win the game. Or, you know, just not play Omniscience and win because you're still playing a team or control deck. And it doesn't matter if you get Omniscience in play or not because you're just winning with spells. So this doesn't feel like it denies enough notable cards. Usually the things that are cheating things out, there's like 1 or 2 in a deck. There's not a ton of them. There's a lot of tutors and a lot of card draw. This doesn't really impact either. You would prefer to run Ashiok to deny tutor effects and the 3-mana Ashiok, and Narset to deny additional card draw. This doesn't really do either. This is a little too specific. And in fact, it doesn't play nicely with my Edgar, which is really funny. Does it play nicely with Profane Procession? transform it. How does transform read as a card? Transform does not exile, right? It stays in play when it's transformed. Yeah. Yeah, it does. So this just denies my one Edgar. That's so funny that the one time I get to... Oh, actually the second time. So the first time we played Edgar, someone else blew it up. The second time, we blew it up on accident. But this card is up to the person. Like, you'll feel good about it when it's really good, and you'll feel bad about it when it's not doing anything, which is going to be the massive majority of the times you play this. So I might just take it out. Same with Ominous Traveler. I don't think I like this at all. I like the, lull, just keep bouncing it, playing weird vampires that aren't really a strong thing, where you're generating, like, kind of a Dawn of Hope token, sort of, but they're just wonky cards that don't really play well with your deck in any capacity. It's a little bit of value. It is literally value, but the value you're getting just... these cards are just not great. And I didn't even realize this goes back to hand for a long time every time you cast it. Even still, I just don't like it. In fact, one of these is completely unusable, right? This one is unusable, and this one's unusable. I can't use their abilities. I can't generate that color. And the only thing this makes it is so you can cast it, not activate its abilities, which makes some of these targets very strange. Like, imagine you got the red and green one, and then the third one was like a really bad card, and you're like sitting here with these random... The cards that this gives are just so random. I just don't like it. We never got to use Eye of Vecna, but if you like Phyrexian Arena and you like Maze Mind's Tome, okay, there it is. There you go. There's another one. With that being said... I like this just as much. I mean, if you like Eye of Vecna, you should probably like this card as well, right? So technically now there are 3 of these 2-mana artifacts that like draw cards slowly, right? Some of them scry, this one draws and stuff. This could be costly on your life total, but it could also draw you a fair amount of cards. Like, it immediately replaces itself, and then you can start drawing cards with it. I don't know. I never got to test it, but I'd say it's similar enough to the other cards that you either like or you don't, whether having tested it or not. So what are we adding here? We have to add another card. The land count felt really nice, which was cool. I think we were sweating on 1 additional mana for the Kethis game, but outside of that, we felt pretty good with the land count, which is nice. The discard spells were nice as well. Duress, I mean, we played against a ton of green decks. A ton of them. So we didn't have a lot of Duress targets. If Kambal is in a green tier bucket, then don't play Duress. I'll just say it now. If you're playing against green cards all the time because Kambal is forced to, because of Wizards being weird, then don't play Duress. But if that is not the case and you find yourself playing against a lot of nonsense, then play Duress. Gotta pick a card here to run. I could just say screw it, run another sweeper, but I think another form of recurring draw would be nice. There is Argyle's Bloodfast, but unlike the majority of Kambal decks that I see, at least, there's not a lot of ways to gain life in my list here, right? That I've made. You'd have to probably change that if you want to start paying an obscene amount of life to amass card advantage, because we have a lot of life loss and not a lot of life gain. Our life gain is just essentially not taking damage, right? The only damage we're taking is from our own cards, which is, a good spot to be in, right? But we could run this. It's another Phyrexian Arena. We could... No, I don't like this. I do like Dread Presence, but maybe we drop 2 more planes for more swamps, and then we start getting into weird color issues, and I don't know if it's worth it. Probably not. There is this card, Graveyard Hate, cycles itself, and then for 4 mana it could wind up taking out something seriously threatening, right? But if it's not good, you can always just cycle it, and that's totally fine. Doom Foretold is another decent one, but we don't have a lot of things we're happy to sacrifice, right? Like, We cast this, and most likely we're actually sacrificing it immediately, so... like, unless we're doing some weird Wellspring stuff, which we're not going to do. I don't like Simulacrum in this deck, at least. I've been kind of off this card for a while. Kind of weird, I know, but I just haven't felt strong about Solemn Simulacrum lately. Could be wrong. Could just be not as universal. Same with the key. Not as universal as I had originally thought. But I still played in paper. I don't like Esper Sentinel in this deck either. Slayer's Bounty's been good. Dawn of Hope has been really good. Very satisfying win condition. Still going to pick a card. Pick a card. I don't think we had enough draw in tutors to play Approach the Second Sun, but if you feel like that's something you really like to play, which I usually do, I would run it, but I just was trying to be off the wonky win conditions. Is there a reason I don't like Esper Sentinel? In this deck, I just feel like I'm blowing up my board too much. The Ajani deck kind of had the same thing going on, the green-white control thing that failed horribly, where I was just blowing this up, and unless it's super, super early, I just don't think... it is a very good card. I just... like, if we base it off of the games we've played, there was an insane amount of creatures, so this wouldn't have been great. Just because there was so many green cards. And the non-creature spells our opponents are casting, it's nice to draw a card off of this. If you force your opponent to like Lightning Bolt or something, you're not too upset about that. The less creatures you have in your deck, the worse it gets, because that means you probably have more sweepers, and your opponent can spearhead far more removal into a single card instead of having a whole deck full of creatures, where then they have to deal with those creatures first, while this is continuously taxing them. We never got into a position where we had a wide board where I felt like Esper Sentinel would still be alive, while not needing to cast a sweeper, while having more creatures that are scarier than this. In fact, this might be the first thing to always die, because I don't have a lot of creatures, right? It does, as long as it does draw at least one card, it basically cycles itself. So you could try it in that regard. It is also an early play. Seldom will it probably be able to attack with so many Llanowar Elves and Menadorks looming around, but it is, yeah, it's a card to consider, absolutely. It's absolutely a card to consider. I'm just not big on it in this deck. Also, every time I play it, I've gotten pretty burned by it. So, I just don't want to play it right now. I'm just not in the mood. Ew, you know what? Treasure Map's pretty decent. These colorless 2-mana cards are pretty nice. Like, I just like these on turn 2 plays have been very solid. So maybe just another one is nice. We did just add this, so maybe just this. It is another way to draw cards early, scrying away nonsense and stuff like that. I think we're going to do that. Yeah, I like that. I've played Encyclopedia probably far more off-stream than on-stream. I do like this card, but it's good when it's good. It's not good when it's not good. Like, it's really bad when it's not good, right? But if it does hit it naturalize, it's nice. Right, just get that stuff out of the way. The weaker your card is when it gets blown up, the better, right? If your opponent's blowing that up, you're happy. And you could argue that the Celestius is just strictly better than Encyclopedia, because it's also a mana rock. You don't get to keep both cards, right? You have to discard, but that usually isn't a problem. You usually have a card almost always to discard. And it's always just right to loot when you can, so... like, oh, you drew a card and it's not good, you just get rid of that card. So it's like drawing a dead card anyways that just doesn't happen to go to your graveyard. We could probably run one more tutor effect, and then maybe exploit our graveyard, like the this, and then we could put a card in our graveyard that's relevant for being in the graveyard, like that 3/1 landfall creature that comes out of your graveyard. This doesn't play nicely with Rest in Peace, though, so if it's already in play, then you don't want to do that. At that point, you're just putting something dead in the graveyard, which sometimes you might just do that anyways, to just not draw it or something. Also, at that point, there is another There is another tutor I don't own. There's like a 3-mana one that exiles a bunch of cards in your deck before you get to tutor, which is alright. I just personally like to not lose any of my cards. I mean, that's like a personal feeling. It's, you know, usually the 13 cards weren't relevant unless they were, but where are you? I think it's a 3-minute card. Yeah, Demonic Bargain. You could run this as well. I haven't seen anyone cast this before, and the only reason I know it exists is because I saw it in a list of a Kambal deck, and I just don't like doing this. Like, what if you tutor like 13 cards? Yeah, you have 99, but there's a chance you lose something that's pretty important, and you feel really bad, right? That can happen. That really can happen to you, and you'd be surprised how often it does. You'd be surprised. Same with symmetrical tutors like this one and the artifact that does the Wishclaw Talisman. I used to run this, but it seems as though people started catching on that, like, tutoring for an answer to the talisman so I don't get it back doesn't make any sense, right? Like, they tutor Naturalized, then they blow this up. It's like, well, you didn't do anything. You just tutored for Naturalized, and you could have just, like, people stopped doing that, and then I kind of stopped playing it, so. Or, you know, they just tutor for a card that just outright wins the game at some given spot. But yeah, no, I like it how it is. I like it how it is. I've been rambling on for a while here. Anything else to talk about with the deck? The exile effects were nice. Cosmos Elixir, I actually really do like this card. I thought I wouldn't, but the life gain is decent in this list in particular, but the Scry one is always good. It's just nice to do that. Because putting a card to the bottom that is not good is almost like drawing an additional card. The 6-mana Planeswalkers were decent. Professor Onyx could come in here maybe. It is another card draw thing. It is also more life loss. But you do gain life every time you cast a spell with her in play. Ooh, maybe I just sold myself. Might just be better than Ujin. Ujin, I don't know. Ujin's decent. The only reason we're running Cast Out is because it's a target for Idyllic Tutor. So it turns Idyllic Tutor into a tutorable removal spell, right? Which I like. If it wasn't for that, I'm not big on O-Rings. But having at least 1/2 tutor for, with this card in particular at least, is nice. I might replace Ujin with Professor Onyx. I don't like Bolus's Citadel because, again, we're paying so much life. And if we get sweepers on the top, like, there's plenty of cards that we could just find on the top that are just not doing anything, and we feel bad. Did Johnny sour me on O-Rings? No, not really. It does suck when your answers to things are O-Rings only, and then they get blown up, and your opponent had basically countered your removal spell, but it was just a delayed counter because they got the card back, which is, you know, you'd rather just answer the card, and these don't do that. I just, you know, and there are a fair amount of naturalized effects looming around, so these are a little bit worse. I'd rather this just be a removal spell, right? But I just like the fact that Idyllic Tutor can find this, and then I can always cycle it away if I don't need it. Especially with commanders, you O-ring a commander, and, well, it's not doing anything now, because it goes back to the command zone, and you have an enchantment just sitting there. You could technically find a way to pick it back up. So, I do like Professor Onyx, though, I think. There has to be a card in here that just isn't great. I do really like Edgar, even though both times he didn't do anything. I do like it. I'm not going to remove that. Same with Profane Procession. I've actually liked this too. Path of Peril, you'll never cast this for 3 usually, right? There's never been an instance where I'm like, oh yeah, let's sweep 2 or less. So at that point, it basically is a 6-minute sweeper. And when you're casting a 6-minute sweeper, you would rather it be the snow sweeper. So you can at least reanimate something. Because I will probably never Path of Peril on 2. Like, it's just so uncommon to do that, right? It's so uncommon to do that, ever. There's not many decks where they're like, oh no, my 2-minute cards. So I'm actually going to put in the Snow Sweeper instead. I didn't even realize that. Good thing I noticed, right? I mean, you could run both, but... I might drop Duress. Is that reckless? I really want Professor Onyx in here. Drop Solemnity 9 lives. Solemnity was actually pretty useful without 9 lives sometimes, but... No, I think you can still get your opponents good with this randomly. I think that's really just a nice random thing to potentially pull off. Shoot, you can even run the Book of Exalted Deeds, Faithless Haven in here, and just feel good about it. Maybe not, though, because I think every single deck we played against today, every single deck we played against had a way to blow up a land. So it's certainly one of the weaker lol I win gotcha combos. I really want Professor Onyx in here. I might drop Duress. It's certainly one of the weaker cards, at least looking at the whole list, right? You could argue 9 lives is one of the weaker cards because it doesn't do anything without the other piece. Unless it potentially buys you enough time to turn around, which is not common, but not impossible. You don't have to combo the card. It can still keep you alive. Smothering Tithe, we never cast it, and at no point did I ever think that I should Idyllic Tutor for it. And when we're at 4 mana, how many cards? There's 6, 7... There's only 8 cards after I cast Smothering Tithe that, like, the tokens let me ramp into, outside of just playing multiple cards a turn, because that's the only thing it does outside of that. Also, a late draw in this isn't great, right? This isn't super expensive on paper because of one-on-one commander. It's because you get 3 triggers every turn cycle. it's just different. It's just a different card. All right, I found my card. Put Onyx in there, but I'm not gonna play another game. We're well over 2 hours at this point, but this is certainly pretty solid. Just card draw, stealing life, so you're offsetting the nonsense, especially when your whole deck is going to trigger Magecraft for the most part. The -3 is solid, and the ultimate, you know, it's all right, but you usually just find yourself plussing to outvalue your opponent. Planeswalker ultimates aren't the strongest thing about Planeswalkers. It's just incurring insane value. You could just plus this for the whole game and win because the cards it gets you and stuff, not because you ultimate it and slap them for like 30 damage and then they wind up being at 1 and stabilize or some weird stuff. Liliana is not true. This one wins the game. But again, that's not why you're playing it. You're playing it to make some blockers, kill your stuff, kill their stuff, draw some cards. But yeah, super fun commander. One of my favorite commanders now, for certain. I love black-white strategies, and I love control strategies. I love alternate win conditions, potentially, right? And I love permanent-based disruption, like Edgar, which is really cool. And obviously sweepers. Yeah, I'm going to call it there. Let me know what you think about the deck. Let me know what you would and would not play. I'm sure there are plenty of cards that I had not seen or not thinking about when I'm browsing through all the available cards, because it happens, or I just don't own it or something. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.